Good morning, sisters. Welcome to episode 11 of our preparedness blog. I have a lot to cover today, so pardon me if I go quickly. This is part 2 of our water storage, and there's a lot still to deal with, so hang on. If you live in Perry, you should have gotten this in your last mailing, and this is the annual water report. I did a little bit of digging and found out a few things about our water supply. Number one, didn't realize that Brigham City owns Manaway Reservoir, and they have more water they can actually use, and they sell that water to other cities and other places, actually. But they also have kind of an agreement with Perry City, so in case of a fire, and I understand there was a fire on the hill a while back, before my time here, they have actually a shared water system. So if Brigham happens to have a massive fire and doesn't have enough water, however that can happen, then Perry, there's a little switch. They can switch the water off and they can share water with Brigham City and vice versa. So if we run out of water in fighting some kind of fire or whatever we need, we can do the same. We pretty much have mostly a gravity-fed water system from some springs, but we do get our water from other sources. The most likely problem you're going to have with your water, what I learned, would probably be with the Pine View secondary water, which could be helpful if you filtered or cleaned it to drink, but not our main water source. Definitely for Perry City, it's just our outdoor water supply. So as long as you had your indoor water supply, you'd be okay. Maybe not your lawn and your garden, but everything else would. Okay, let's keep going. So a couple things from last time. I recommended that you get 2 gallons a day per person for about 3 months. That is the most recommended water probably that you're going to find out there. FEMA suggests that you have 32 ounces a day to drink, but keep in mind that varies according to the heat, where you live, and the strenuous work you might be doing. If you're trying to dig out your neighborhood or your own house or whatever, 32 ounces a day might be pushing it. But then if your water storage is in your house, you're relying on some other water source or some other place. On that note, you need to have 3 different kinds of water storage. So you need the kind of water storage that's permanent, that's in your own home, and that's going to be stored in your canning jars that we talked about, or in your water tanks. I didn't bring it in here, and I have one. Darn it. So there's the water tanks you can buy at Walmart that are kind of that see-through whitish plastic. Those are great if you're going to fill them up, take them to go camping, come back. But for long-term storage, you want water containers that are going to protect against heat and against light. And that's the other reason you don't want to store softened water, because they have additives and minerals that they add to that, and that grows algae. So that is not great long-term water storage. You'll just end up having to treat all your water if you store softened water. So you don't want softened water in your long-term storage. Okay, so that can be the great big tankers. There is a store here called, I can't remember what it's called. Oh gosh. Anyway, it's their website is waterprepared.com, and they have a really nifty little calculator that you can plug in if you want just basic water supply, or more comfortable water supply, or super adequate water supply, and how many people and for how long. And it'll multiply that and figure out for you how many gallons you need to aim to store, depending upon what you choose. They also have the great long-term storage water containers made right here in Brigham City. They are kind of expensive. Actually, water containers can be expensive pretty much anywhere. I have found one source that sells theirs at super minimal prices that is pretty awesome. But the Water Prepared people have sales that pretty much match those prices, but you can only match them during their sale times. So let me talk about these. This right here is a super water tanker. It comes in blue and white. Right now it's only available in white because of COVID and the restrictions and border restrictions, because it's made in Canada. This is the original super water tanker, and the company that I go through sells this little baby, which is 275 gallons of water It takes up about the floor space of 1.5 of those 55-gallon drums. So it's a little bit bigger than a 55-gallon drum and definitely a lot taller. But it replaces 5 55-gallon drums. So if space is, big to you, then you're going to want to go that route. Also, you can get other ones. Like this is the smaller size. It's not available right now, once again, because it's not made in our country. It's not available locally. However, the Water Prepare people, just in Brigham City, they have smaller size, like 160 gallon and whatnot, that you can store, and I believe they are stackable. So then there's the 55-gallon drums. This company has those for $39.99, which is the best price that I have seen. If you want the info on how to get a hold of those or who to get a hold of to get those, you can text or call me. Also, there's also the portable jugs. Now, those clear ones at Walmart, those are portable, but you can get nicer, thicker plastic for potable water that come in 5 and 6 gallons of container size that you can just grab and go. So that would be like your 72-hour if you were able to leave in a vehicle because you don't want to have to carry it. If not, then we're to this. So the church used to sell these, and they were the best ones out there, the Seychelles. And they, Seychelles, I think is what it's called, have the filters in the bottle. And these filters, these are really your best, besides your clean water that you've got stored in containers. If you have to drink out of a pond or a puddle or anything, these are the best kind of thing that you can get. However, I went to the church's, it's right here, store.lds.org, and they no longer sell those. I don't know if it's the inability to get them in or what it is, but they have these. So these are Aquamira Water Basics Redline water bottle. Now the difference between these and the one I just showed you and something like a straw is what they will filter. So a Life straw, put it this way so you can read it. A Life straw, which there's various brands and whatnot, will filter. It's great for like if you're backpacking or hiking or whatever, but it's not great if you are in a in-town setting or a water supply that has possible toxins or chemicals, because they will not filter that out. So you don't want to use these if there's that chance. However, these filter out most of, or at least reduce greatly, things like chlorine, the toxins, the chemicals from like a chemical spill in the water. So they're the best one to have on hand. These two options are great to put in your 3 options if you go through the church. They're great to have in your 72-hour kits and also in your cars and backpacks. They're just super awesome to have on hand. They're going to be the ones that you want to take with you because you don't want to lug around the weight of water bottles or water jugs or anything. It's just better to have those on hand. They're not super pricey. You can get similar products online, of course. And there's a whole bunch of other blogs out there. I've written down these that have different articles and whatnot about water and water storage and how to store it. And of course, you can boil water, and boiling water doesn't really remove chemicals and toxins. And sometimes it can enhance the chemicals and the toxins in the water. So that's not a great method if that's what you think is a problem. But there's also the water purification tablets. Those are great. That's another thing. Sorry, I don't have those on hand right now. I didn't dig through. I'm kind of unprepared today. Anyway, I was going to show you what those are, but they're just little pills that are pretty easily available. I think you can get them at Smith & Edwards. Not sure about Walmart, but definitely online. Those are great to have on hand and have an abundance of them all over. So in your house, in your trailer, in your camping supplies, in your 72-hour kits, anywhere else that you can find to put them. Yes, let's see what else I have here. So I think that about covers everything I want to cover today. I had a few notes that also, I don't know, I think I have a stash somewhere in another room that I forgot to haul in here. But I am running out of time. So behind me, I have put down some websites that you can go to. to find articles on water and figure out what you want to store. So waterprepared.com is the local company, and they're the ones with the little calculator that you can plug in. Great information on water and water storage. And of course, that's what they do. Then you've got the beprepared.com. That's the emergency essentials people. I trust them. I know them. I know their product. So they're probably my favorite to go through with a lot of things. However, their water storage can be kind of pricey. They do have filters now that they sell that it's just a filter. So you can put it in a water bottle. You can drink it out of it like a straw. You can use it various ways. So that's kind of cool. Then this is the church's input on the water storage. You have to go to, let's see if we can read it. It's probably self-explanatory, but you go to Gospel Library if you have that, or you can probably go through the LDS Church website. Then you go to Emergency Preparedness. There, you'll scroll down and you'll come to a little subtitle that says Keep a Reserve of Food and Other Supplies. And in that little section of their article, if you scroll down, you get to drinking water. And that will talk about various ways to do your water and their recommendations as well. And then, of course, there's the store.lds.org, where you can go to get things like this for your water storage. So, yes. Once again, this super tanker is $425. The Water Prepared has one that's a little bit more water. It's like 320 gallons of water. This one's $275. But theirs is like $800 right now. This one is only $425. So big difference with just a little bit more storage in the other one. However, you can get theirs for smaller prices down the road if they have sales. I think that's everything today, ladies. Sorry I've gone over. It's just a lot to cover. I hope you guys have a great week. Actually, 2 weeks. I'll be back in a couple of weeks, and we may look at warmth and heat or light sources a little more in depth. We are kind of running out of topics other than going deep into certain things. So we'll revamp if we're going to keep going on this or not. However, one little note, there is a food drive in the area, actually statewide, March 20th. And there are some great case lot sales. So case lot sales are going on right now. So if you're wanting to get some food for your food storage for a little bit minimal, less money, now is a good time to buy those in bulk. Also, Kent's Marketplace has the gamma lids that we talked about, the ones that aren't long-term storage, but they screw on and screw off, come in different colors on your buckets. They're for the stuff that you're using at the time, and they are only, I think, $4.99. Actually, $3.99. What'd you tell me? Let's say $3.99. It's in the ad that just came out today. So if you have a Kent's near you and you're interested in getting some gamma lids, now is a good time to do that. All right. You guys have a great couple weeks. Be back later. Have a good one.